Welcome back to another exciting edition of the RECRAP. Oops. I sound like I electrocuted myself. I didn't. I was going to say what episode number it was, but honestly, I don't think that joke was ever funny, and I've lost track, and we've done enough of these that it doesn't seem as funny. We've done like 1,000 of them, I think, or 30. I don't know. A lot. Too many. Anyway, this is the post-game recap for the Bears loss to the Packers at horribly overrated Lambeau Field. We're going to get right in. Oh, I forgot to. Well, that's all right. I'm all out of sorts. I got too excited by the Bears almost winning it at the end. We're going to talk about all of that. Obviously, I didn't put the recap slide up, and you don't care. I don't care either. But let's get to the sponsor. So we got to go when Oleg actually lined this sponsor up for us. He sent it to me last week. It's an Instagram post, so I'm just going to, those of you watching, you're just going to see the there. I don't know how else to do it. I don't really care. But it's really good. So here we go.
No, it couldn't be.
Do you know who that is?
You're crazy. You're Walter Payton. Man, you sure get around. With an RTA transfer, you can really get around. Round, get around, I get around. Round.
Yes, that's, I don't know what year we decided this was. Maybe we didn't. That's Walter Payton riding the bus and the train and the L. He did both. He transferred. It was very exciting. Just showing you how much George Halas was paying him. That even as a full-time NFL football player, and probably may even already been the MVP, he's shopping for bus transfer passes. So there you go. All right, so let's get to the actual. No, before we do that, my book, of course, books plural, still for sale. You can still get them in time for Christmas. The Immortals, about the 2016 Cubs. Great Until It Wasn't, about the 2003-2004 Cubs. There's a paperback edition. It's very nice. There's a hardcover in case you want to treasure it forever, which is nice. It might be worth the extra money. I don't know. And there's now a Kindle version of both. And if you read tomorrow's newsletter, I have a joke, and it's not a joke. It's a real thing. So the Kindle thing just went up over the weekend. I finally figured out how to make it work. It was a lot easier than I thought. I'd read this thing that said, if you're going to use footnotes or endnotes, it's going to be terrible. I figured it out. But for people who have that Kindle Unlimited, which apparently you can download as many books as you want, you just pay a flat fee and you can download as many books as you want. So the way it works for the author is you get paid by how many pages those people read. And when there was just one person who had downloaded it, I could, when I was look at the updates, I could just see what page that person was on. Because I know there was only one. So whatever their total page was, that's the page. They're all the way up to page 13 of the Immortals. Way to go. Pace yourself. It's a 350-page book or whatever. You can have it done by opening day if you stay on your current pace. There's also a sale for the newsletter, 33% off. It was a Cyber Week sale I did last week. EEK, not EAK. And I just kept it up. So we'll do it for a little while before Christmas so you can take advantage of it. All right, so let's get to the Bears' scintillating loss to the Packers. And I'm going to go Galaxy Brain, and I'm going to tell you what this loss reminded me of. And you can read all about it in the Immortals. It very much reminded me of the 2015 Cubs, the second road trip they took to St. Louis, where they got demolished the first series of the year in St. Louis. And that was one where I basically wrote at the time, this doesn't matter. This Cubs team's not ready yet, but sometime this year they will be ready. And the Cardinals won't like what they see. When they went back the second time, the Cubs handled them in the first two games of the series and then blew the third game. They blew a lead. Pedro Strop, remember how he used to blow up at Busch Stadium? He did it again, and they lost. And I remember thinking, and I wrote it then, so that's how I remember that I thought it, because I wrote it down, that the Cardinals were going to take the wrong lesson from that. They were still going to be, it's the same old Cubs. Whenever we need to beat them, we're going to be able to beat them. And then, of course, they couldn't. And I kind of felt that way about this. I feel like Green Bay feels the same way today. Like, oh, it's still the same old Bears. Did that look like the same old Bears to any of you guys? They were pretty overwhelmed in the first half, especially on offense. But they pretty much did the whelming in the second half. I would have really... It's funny that Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady talked about it a lot because I thought about it like yesterday. That if the Bears score late to tie it, they should just go for 2 to try to win the game. And I think they would have. So if that 4th and 1 play hadn't gotten picked off and they'd gotten the first down, I think they would have scored. And then it would have come down to one play to win it or lose it. But I get the feeling that the Bears offense basically shoved all over the field in the second half. And then it's too bad Micah Parsons didn't play the second half because he did he did? Oh, that's right. Oh. It felt like a team that is still taking a step. And there are no good losses because it's a loss, but this is a not bad one, even though I hate the fucking Packers and I really wish they had won. It was something. And I'm sure we're gonna get the same old doom and gloom. The first person I thought of when they lost, well, 2. Mike Sando, I'm sure, can call his anonymous sources who can talk about how, see, Caleb always turns the ball over when it's important. That's what is his 4th interception of the year, something like that. I mean, I'm sure that was a run pass. Like he could have run for the first down, I think. I don't think he could have and gotten out of bounds, kept it going. But the idea is you pull everybody up and then you just sneak Cole back. And I don't think that the velocity of the pass was wrong because one thing Caleb did with good effect today was take something off the ball when he was rolling out because we'd seen it for the first however many weeks, 12, that when he rolls out, he throws the ball 1,000 miles an hour. I just wish he had kept leading Cole towards the sideline instead of throwing it where he was because that let Nixon catch up. And I'm sure maybe he just figured, well, just throw it near that guy and he'll find a way to commit a 15-yard penalty again because that's what seems to be what he's best at. But he caught it, and Packers now think everything's solved and they're better than the Bears still, and everything's great. The first half wasn't great, I didn't think. Offensively, they couldn't run the ball, they couldn't pass the ball. Other than that, they were fine. And then the defense, they got a turnover, and then the offense did nothing with it. That was the weird Colston Loveland fumble. Packers recovered it. Well, long after the Packers recovered, Colston stole it back. The refs gave the Bears the ball. Little Matt LaFleur and his Proud Boy haircut had to angrily throw his little challenge flag. And then he wins the challenge, but the Bears keep the ball because they decided it was incomplete, which fine, whatever. But just, the first half, the Bears felt like they were hanging on, and then they got the field goal. It was going to be 7-3 at the half, and I mean, come on, what the fuck, Cairo? It looked like he was trying. Remember the old onside kicks when occasionally a team would just try to bounce the ball off a guy in the front row? In high school, we used to always get warned because that's a high school thing. You just try to kick the ball as hard as you can at one guy and just bounce the ball off of him. It looks like that's what Cairo tried, which unfortunately isn't legal anymore. It would have been the Packer ball wherever he hit the guy. And he wasn't trying to do it, but that was bad. He gave him the ball at the 40 right there, and they basically gave him a touchdown. And then, God bless him, I'm glad Jalen Johnson's back, but can he actually start playing? It would be nice. I mean, it's one thing to be on the field, and he's easy to spot because he wears so much orange, like he's hunting. But there were the 2 long passes for touchdown passes were both in large part his fault. On the first one, and Brady tried to explain it, and I don't think Burkhardt gave him enough time. Tom Brady, by the way, much better now. He has really learned, I think, how to relate to things when he played them quickly, so that he doesn't have to over-explain everything. But Burkhardt never goes back to him. If they try to squeeze it in between plays, it's gone. They're never gonna revisit it. And he was trying to explain how, in that defense on the first long touchdown pass, the one to Watson, I guess, one of the ones to watch. The one where the ball went in the air a long time to watch. Watson also had the little slant that Kevin Byard he took off for the for the corner, and there was no Packer going to the corner. It's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, he was trying to explain how Jalen's reading the tight end, and if the tight end comes out, he follows him, and if the tight end doesn't, then he has to like drop back into that quarter. And Jalen didn't do either. He just stood there. And then on the long one to Bo Melton. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Bo Melton, Bill Melton's nephew. Where Jaquan had to run the entire width of the field and almost knocked it away, but didn't. Jalen just same thing, just kind of like, okay, well, it's going to that side. I'm conserving my energy. Oof. They really missed Kyler Gordon today, who apparently re-injured his groin in warm-ups. So not great. Because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the fifth or whatever he is, has a lot of things he's good at, but when he's better when, like, if they're going to play him in the nickel, he's fine against tight ends. He's actually really good against tight ends, even though they're bigger. He's a tough, dirty player. But with Jalen Reed today back, miraculously, he didn't have the speed to keep up with him, and then they actually got Watson on him on that slant for the touchdown. So Chauncey's a little limited. A healthy Kyler makes all that a lot tougher, but he didn't. But in the second half, the Bears had the ball for most of the half, partially because they had a couple of 3-and-outs, but they also gave up a huge, quick scoring touchdown drive. But they ran the ball well, and they started getting Caleb out of the pocket to eliminate the Micah Parsons wrecking every play, which was nice. Ozzie Trapillo had a rough first half, and not just against Micah, against anybody. Last week they're like, well, they didn't even say his name, so it must be good. Well, that was good. They didn't say his name this time either, but you saw a lot of him chasing after guys he had just whiffed on, which was not great. And the great Theo Benedict is back. He was the extra tackle again. So apparently it's a choice now to have Ozzie playing instead of him. They might want to rethink that, because next week it's Myles Garrett, and it doesn't get easier for the left tackle. For once, I actually made some notes. Usually I just sit there and go, I'm going to remember this. And then I don't. So I'm going to look at these real quick. Oh yeah, number one, this happened. What the fuck is with Fox? When there's a challenge, they play they have the three versions of the Fox music. The dun, 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 dun. They have the normal one, then they have the injury one, which is like played softly on a piano, and then they have the weird intermezzo version, which is like the jaunty going to replay. Like it's almost like this is a thinker. Before you go to commercial, could you show us the replay once before you go? Because they don't. They talk about it and they're like, oh, it's a challenge. It was going to be a tricky one. And then it's, and then you got fucking Flo from Progressive for 2.5 minutes. And then you come back and it's already decided. And then they wanted to do it really bad on the Bears' last drive when Caleb slud a little too early and LaFleur threw his little red hanky. And the refs are like, oh, no. The replay assist taking care of this. We're not even going to bother. You don't get to play your stupid music. It's like, show the replay, please. Cole Kmet, I mean, he will do things that are good, and then the long pass from Caleb to him on the scramble was a great catch and a great throw, just amazing. That was really cool. And it's not his fault that the ball didn't get to him on the final play. It was underthrown. It didn't get to him. But he had another catch in the third quarter because they're pointing. They're going this way. It doesn't mean anything, even if you could see me. They were going right to left on your TV or your radio dial, as Jeff Joniak says. He'll tell you what direction they're going, but he won't tell you the score or the down or the distance. By the way, if you were listening to the game only on the radio, the Bears lost. Because you don't know with Joniak. You have no clue. Caleb hits Kmet on stride, and he's going to gain like 15 more yards. He just falls down. He slides down, like on purpose. Like, Jesus, dude, stay up. It's not that hard. Look at the rookie. That guy bounces off of everybody. And which rookie? But I mean, the rookie tight end, Colston, doesn't go down like that. Anyway, I wrote this and I meant it at the time, and then they ran it late in the fourth quarter and it worked. So they ran a wide receiver screen to DJ Moore and they nearly got him assassinated. He also almost got killed on an end around where the would have been Darnell. They let on purpose. They let the defensive end go and thinking that he won't catch the guy, and then he about killed DJ, which wouldn't have been good. And then I was like, so just take that play and strap it to a rocket and fire it into the sun. But then in the fourth quarter, they ran it to Luther, and he made a great play, and they got a first down. And so fine, you can have it one more week. You have to prove it. We're going week to week with the wide receiver screen because I don't know. Okay, the other thing we need to talk about. So I went to a conference in Green Bay. It's a long time ago now, 10 years ago maybe. But one of the activities was we had like a reception. This was in the middle of it was spring. There was nothing going on up there. It's Green Bay. There's really nothing going on up there. But we had a reception at Lambeau because Lambeau has a bunch of you can get married in there. You can have wedding receptions. You can have a Kiwanis meeting. You can have, I'm sure they have a Klan rally up there for the people from Appleton. Matt LaFleur has his Proud Boys meetings there, I'm sure, where they all give each other haircuts. One of the things they did was they offered stadium tours, and we're just like, fine. So it was a Packer fan, me, and a Steelers fan on this tour, and the Steelers fan and I were completely unimpressed by Lambeau. But one of the things they did was they took us down on the field. We couldn't step on the field. Oh no! They had their grow lights out, not the kind that Ola uses. They have the kind for actual grass. And they gave a long explanation about how incredible their turf is because it's part synthetic, part actual grass. And then they have this, I swear, the poor tour guide has to pull out this little, it's like a diorama of the field. And they show you where here's where the grass grows. And then intermingled with the grass is the synthetic turf. And because of that, the Lambeau turf is the greatest turf in the world at all times. The reality of it is that grass is just as shitty from October until January as the shit at Soldier Field. The only difference is they don't have to paint it green like the Park District does, but it's bad. And it was bad today. Guys were falling down, sliding around. But they'll act like it. This is the same. This is the same bullshit that they feed people. And there's a commercial that they air during every NFL game. It's an NFL commercial. It's from the draft. Was the draft in Green Bay last year? Where some yutz is up there talking about the greatest fans in football because they own the team. They're not just fans; they're the owners. If you are a Packers shareholder, you don't own shit. You paid what, $400 for a certificate to hang on your in your deer blind or whatever they do up there. You don't own anything. You don't get. So if the team turns a profit, do you get a dividend? No. When the team needs to hire a new coach, do they call you up and ask you who they ought to hire? No. You don't have any. You're not an owner. You just have a stupid certificate that you overpaid for, and then they took the money and they've stuck it in the board stuck it in their little pocket or whatever. It's a boondoggle. It's bullshit. That's just proof that Packer fans are the dumbest because they're willfully duped into that. And then my last one was, so when Brandon McManus came out to kick the extra point on the fourth touchdown, I got to thinking about, the Democrats released a bunch of Epstein Island photos late last week. And I wonder if Brandon saw them and went, oh, looks like it looks like I didn't know that Epstein repainted the gazebo. Oh, it looks great. If you don't remember, the Packers have a sex pest for a punter. He allegedly sexually assaulted 2 stewardesses on an airplane. And that's why he got fired from whatever team he was on before. And it was fine with the Packers. The best part was earlier this year, he got hurt. I think he strained his groin. Must have been on another flight. And they had this kicker that came in that missed 2 extra points. Where's that guy? Could have used him. Anyway, well, the Bears did lose, and so it's not, it's not great news, but I was really impressed with the way they played in the second half. And I really, that's maybe I'm wrong, but that's the feeling I got, was that this is one of those wins where the Packers and nobody cares about their stupid fans, but the fans are like, yeah, you guys always lose. All right, it's coming. It didn't come today, but it's coming. Besides, Caleb's 1-1 in that stadium in 2025. He already won there in January. I guess he decided he'd let Jordan have one for his morale. I don't remember how many yards Caleb threw for in the first half. It was like 22 or something. It wasn't good. He finished 19 to 35, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the pick. And I'm sure a lot would be made of the pick, and we're going to see it over and over again, and blah, 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 blah. But, whatever. Jordan Love threw an interception. His was really bad. That was one where Tom couldn't figure out who he's throwing it to. He's like, he's trying to hit. Wait. No, that was a good. No, it was a bad throw. Yeah, it was a bad throw. He threw it right to Chauncey. DeAndre, 13 carries, 63 yards. Monungai, 14 for 57. Man, he's a tough little shit. I don't think that he blew up a piece of that guy's helmet, though. They kept showing it. I'm pretty sure that guy did the stupid thing like a lot of players do, where instead of using his mouth guard, he sticks it in one of the holes in the top, and that's what came flying out. Yeah, I don't think so. But I will tell you that it's kind of fun every week to see how quickly Kyle Monungai's his decals fall off his helmet. He never makes it through with both C's intact. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, he was paying homage to the Steelers because he only had the decal on one side of his helmet. And this one, first quarter, one of the C's completely ripped to shreds. Yeah. And that's not from him getting lit up. That's from him doing the lighting up. Receiving, Luther. They really miss Rome a lot today. But I thought Luther played really well. He also tried to strangle a guy, which was fun. Grabbed a guy by the throat, and that guy got the penalty. And that was Nick's. The penalty was on Nixon, but I don't think it really was. I think it was on 24, not 25. Cole Kmet, 2 for 42. Should have been 2 for 60 if he hadn't decided to just slide for no reason. Colston, 4 for 29. Should have been 5 for 40-something. If he hadn't fumbled, then they just... it's incomplete. Devin Duvernay caught a pass. Second reception of the year, I think. They were pretty low down. Jade Walker was running around out there. My boy Jade. But that just shows you how much they missed Rome. He'll be back for the rematch. Olamide, we had a touchdown catch. It was a nice catch. It was a great throw. And it probably should have been knocked away by Nixon, but it wasn't. So, tough shit. That pass to Duvernay by Caleb, it was an incredible play. He has to leave the pocket. He's rolling. He could have run for a few yards, and he's got room, so he just keeps waiting and waiting and waiting. And then he actually looked, he didn't need to, but then when they showed the second replay, he knew he was going to throw to Duvernay, and he looked back to the middle of the field, and then he threw to him. All the shit that he never does, right? He holds the ball too long. He probably held the ball for 8 seconds on that play. That's why the play worked. So I think I'm sure we talked about it last week. I talked about it to you last week. But I saw Sam Fells was blue skying about this a couple of weeks ago too. Neither one of us can understand what people's obsession with his time to pass is. Because he doesn't play quarterback the way most other guys play quarterback. He's buying extra time. He's not just standing back there with his thumb up his ass. We've seen Bear quarterbacks do that in recent years, We know what it looks like. That's not what it looks like. So knock it off. I don't care. And then in the first half, how many times did you just have to throw the ball away to keep them from getting? And they're like, well, his completion percentage is bad. Yeah, that's why. He also rarely turns it over. The interception at the end of the game today was like, oh shit, he doesn't do that. And he did. Durham Smythe caught a pass for 2 yards. I don't remember that. DJ Moore caught one for -4. Poor DJ. DJ got the Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination from the Bears this week, and they did the thing where they like tricked the guy, and Bubba was there. I love me some Bubba Moore. He's just the greatest. He's the breakaway star of the two big stars of Hard Knocks last year with the Bears. Were Bubba Moore, who stole every scene he was in, the adorable little son of DJ Moore, and then Matt Eberflus's apiary, which Flus thought meant that he had a hutch with monkeys on it, and he was very disappointed the first time he found out there were bees. DJ not having a statistically good year, but today was another good example of he does so much shit that they need done. And this idea, well, we just trade him. We don't need him. Well, I'd be very careful with that, especially when you lose Rome and all of a sudden you got Devin Duvernay and Jade Walker running around. So have fun with that. Don't do it. I thought that the worst play of the defense in the entire game was the 3rd and 3 on the Packers' final drive, where Montez strung it out and they had Josh Jacobs. They were going to stop him for no gain. They were going to kick a field goal. And then Montez slid past him, and then Gervon jumped in the air and tried to punch him to the ground. And then and he ripped off like 23 yards, got the first down, put him in a spot where you knew they were going to score a touchdown. I mean, I'm just trying to think when Deshaun got kicked in the head. He got kicked in the jaw. And Tom's like, oh, he got kicked he has a padded chin strap. Oh, that'll stop it. That's what it's designed for. As we get kicked in the face, kicked in the jaw, it'll absorb all the contact. Thanks. Nick McLeod. I know they're down. They're way down the depth chart on a lot of these positions. But man, he sucks. They find him. Every team finds him as soon as he's on the field. It's like a big beaker that goes off. It's a 24 beaker that it was installed. A beaker? That's not right. What would you call it? Like a beeper. I don't know. There's an alert that goes out. There were push notifications, which weren't back when Jeff Fisher wore 24, but would have at the time. But I think when Vesti Jackson wore it, that's when every team in the NFL installed it. So they'd know when number 24 was playing defensive back for the Bears. And they still use it to this day for poor Nick Ray McLeod. Anyway. So the Bears lost 28-21. Would have been fascinating to know if they would have gone for 2 at the end. I would have. Although maybe they used their one good 2-point play, because that was a good one. I thought when they brought Theo in, I was like, this feels like a spot where Lions Dan Campbell. We don't have Dan Campbell. We have Ben Johnson, the other guy. Lions Ben Johnson would have thrown to Dan Skipper. So I was literally, when Theo went in motion, my eye discipline was terrible. I went right. I was following Theo because I'm like, I have a feeling and the defensive end in that spot just dove at his feet. That was, you saw Ben after the play going nuts, yelling because it's a low block. There should have been 15 yards. Cairo should have been kicking off from midfield. Might have been able to kick it to the end zone from there. But everything is designed to make you look that way, and then little Colston just sneaks out for an easy catch. It was a really nice play. I don't know why it took, like, the second half, the offense made perfect sense. They ran stuff that worked. The first half, they couldn't get anything going. And I would have been tempted if I were George Benkowski to fire the boy genius at halftime. This isn't working. You don't know what to do. We're going back to Matt Nagy. But he figured it out in the second half. But he needed one more stop than they got. Or for Caleb to have thrown that ball about 2 yards higher to where Kmet could have dropped it instead. But yeah, frustrating just because of the outcome, but it was a fun game in the second half. I mean, just to watch them, they beat the shit out of the Packer defense. They did in the Packer defense in the second half what they did to the Eagles for the entire game. It's a really good sign. I enjoyed that. I'm very excited now for the return match in 2 weeks. But next week, in between, is a must-win against Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. Because you finish Packer, Niners, Lions. And you'd really like to have your 11 wins before you play the Lions on what I'm sure is the Sunday night game, the final game of the regular season, because it's going to have playoff implications. So beat the Browns, beat the Packers, and then anything happens the last 2 weeks would be gravy. Because I'm a little worried. If you don't beat the Browns, then it could be the Pop-Tart Bowl for you. Which I'm sure, just like Notre Dame, they would just turn down. I don't want to get into that whole thing. I don't root for Notre Dame the way I used to. I used to really, and so I wasn't. But they got fucked. The Alabama's bad. Not just shouldn't be in Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff. They're not good. They barely beat some bad teams. They got beat by Florida State, who was terrible, and then they got boat raced by Georgia. They were never in that game. And we can't penalize teams because then they won't want to play in the conference championship games. You don't need the fucking conference championship games anymore. They're just a cash grab. So fine. If you don't want to go play in it, don't go play in it. But you could also just simply make it a rule that if you qualify for the conference title game and you don't go, then you're not eligible to play in the playoffs. So maybe you're going to have to go win it. So that's the college football corner. So as always, today's the RECRAP was sponsored by My Books, available at beautifulamazon.com. Go to scipio.com/books or go to the Pointless Exercise newsletter website, which is pointlessexercise.com. And there's a little book link at the top, and you just click on it. Buy several copies. And if you're still on page 13, get to reading, buddy. I expect you to have it finished by, I'll give you to Christmas Eve. You can read the last few chapters to the kids at Christmas Eve instead of, hey, heard the fucking 'Twas the Night Before Christmas bullshit. Read the actual article. Read the chapter of the Immortals in the book The Immortals. Won't be a dry eye in the house. And brought to you by the Pat Benkowski Sports Spectacular. And this episode was brought to you by Walter Payton's Bus Pass.
Many of us have herpes.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
It's fitting. It's got to be done with one of the best games of all time. Just unbelievable. Got to congratulate the Dolan family.
Thank you.
Sean, my podcast co-host Andy, you were his favorite player growing up.
Oh, thank you so much. Awesome.